What you're about to see is a definition of symbolism, an authors across centuries trying to reveal the importance of nature on humanity throughout literature. This picture of a tree is never just a tree, but the branches in which all life is connected. And through this elaborate connections of nature to humanity, we have Chopin trying to express the hidden secrets on the ideals of nature on the human mind through her medium as Edna. Naturalism dwells deep in the characters that can be studied through their relationship to their surroundings, and this is the primary reason The Awakening is considered a naturalistic work. The beginning of The Awakening focuses solely on naturalism, and Chopin purposefully introduced the book at the scenic place on Grand Isle, for Edna to be enclosed around ideas of freedom symbolic in nature. Her surroundings influence her into becoming more open-minded, resulting in the beginnings of a rebellion against societal bondage.
Naturalism emphasizes observation in a fictional setting, often connecting and comparing reality. Throughout the beginning of the novel, Edna has been seen wandering around the beach, and after each visit, her thoughts dive deep into societal norms and her meaning of the world. The ocean symbolizes freedom, away from societal norms that Edna was meant to follow, proving why she always felt herself at these moments in the book. The ocean is a vast embodiment of freedom, and through those hints of freedom that Edna experiences, she begins her awakening. An additional naturalistic idea is that Chopin mentions is childbearing and childbirth. As a reader, we know that Edna was never so caring for her children compared to other mothers in the area. Chopin brings light into this unfamiliar perspective on how women felt about bearing children and the chores that are associated with it. Edna has never felt a strong emotional attachment to her children, and her detachment from family shows that she is her own woman and that her family does not define her as the person that she truly is.
Throughout the book, we see nature as a descriptive fashion, and the author intentionally emphasizes and details certain aspects of nature to represent symbolic values. Some quotes from the book that demonstrate the worldview of naturalism include, on page 12, "The voice of the sea is seductive, never ceasing, whispering, clamoring, murmuring, inviting the soul to wander for a spell in abysses of solitude, to lose itself in mazes of inward contemplation." Similarly, on page 28, leaving only an impression upon her half-awakened senses of something unattainable. She was blindly following whatever impulse moved her. And also, on page 78, she began to look for her own eyes, to see and to apprehend the deeper undercurrents of life. No longer was she content to feed upon opinion when her own soul had invited her. And finally, on page 69, it was the first kiss of her life to which her nature had really responded. It was a flaming torch that kindled desire. There was a dull pain of regret because it was not the kiss of love which had inflamed her, because it was not the love which had held this cup of life to her lips. Through these quotes, Chopin builds up a naturalistic approach at the beginning of her book in order to introduce the audience into her awakening.